Howdy class. So today we're going to be setting those bifold doors into the jambs that you guys made in the shop there. So a few things that are a little bit different about setting a bifold door. You got a little bit different hardware that you're dealing with and a little bit different style of opening and little different reveals around the doors. But anyway, it should go pretty smoothly. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now with each bifold door that you get, you'll probably get a pack. Little bag, something like this. It's got a bunch of hardware in it, and it's got some little instructions on it. You get a nice track that goes along the top because this bifold door, this is a bending, sliding door like that. So anyway, this is what the track looks like. We got some miscellaneous hardware pieces here, but basically what you have are your guide pins or your slide pins that will come in that. We've got one for the bottom right here. It sits down. You can see the little teeth on it. Fits into a little track down below. We've got two spring-loaded ones. One looks like this. This is the pin, the pivot pin. This goes in and it locks into our track up top. It actually locks into this little hole in the track right here. Boom. And the door pivots on that. It doesn't move. It has adjustment, but it doesn't move. The last one you'll have, a little spring-loaded guide pin here. It's got a wheel on it. Boom. It's made to go into the track and slide back and forth as the door opens up and keep it in line. So those go in particular spots on the door, which we'll get into in a little bit. But you'll also come up with your bottom pivot track guide here. Now, as you can see, this guy fits nicely into these little guys. Has a height adjustment up and down. You can thread it out, thread it in for your height adjustment. Okay? We have to set those things first. Now, where do I set it in this big jam that I have right here? Well, some people do this, some people don't. I've seen some people set them as far forward as the front, so you just have a nice little reveal like you have between your casing and your door jamb. They want that same little reveal from their casing back to their door. That was always a good rule of thumb for me, but I also know that we're going to have a track sitting up there, this big ugly white piece of metal. So I like to take a piece of my shoe molding and I like to cover that track up like that so you don't necessarily see it as much. It looks more like it's just built into the door. I like to do that, so I kick my doors back a little bit further. What I did was I came back and said that I want 1 1/4 inches to be the center of my track. Okay, that's 1 1/4 inches back. My door is 1 3/8 of an inch thick. Okay, if I center this on 1 1/4 inches back from the front of my door jamb here, that will leave me just enough space up top right here, so when I put the track into place, I can get my shoe molding shot into my door right here with a nice little reveal up top. And then my track is somewhat hidden, okay? So that's what I did. I went out here, I held my track up, I marked where my holes were, boom, boom, and boom. Then I came down to the floor, and I set my little metal guide at the bottom, set it right up against the door jamb down here, because this is where it's going to sit. Came 1 1/4 inches back to the center, and marked my holes and pre-drilled my holes down there. So the door will sit on this and in the track, and it will fold freely back and forth. Now, like I said, I've taken the liberty of already pre-drilling these for us. So what I'm going to do right off the bat is drive in these couple of screws right here, just so this thing is... There we go. And we'll put a shorty dog in right here. Now, as you're doing this, guys, make sure you're doing this to the proper side of the door. We want our door to pivot this way so it folds back against the wall, so it's not folding out into the room, taking up space for us. So we've already determined that. I'm going to screw my top track in up here. Once again, when you screw your top track in, make sure your pivot guide right here is on the proper side of the door. In this case, mine has to be on the left-hand side of the door over here. So, I'm going to head up to the top real quick. Get my screws set here. Right into my pre-drilled holes. There we go. 1, 2, and, oops, that's the wrong screw. This screw right here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so don't worry too much right off the bat whether this is adjusted properly up here or your pivot pins or anything are set to height. What you gotta do is install them in the door first, get the door in there, get it installed, and then you're gonna check once again, your reveals all the way around your door here to make sure that they're nice and even. Everything about setting doors is making sure that those reveals are nice and even. So, now for our 3 pins, we have to make sure that all 3 of these guys go in the right sides of the door. So the way I look at it here is if I get everything out of the way, my door is going to be in here just like so, which means my little wheelie guide right here, this is going to have to be up in this corner of the door because the door is folding open this way. This is the side that's going to move. That's the action side of the door. My little top guide pin that just fits into the hole up here, this one is going to go in my upper left corner up here. There are pre-drilled holes in these doors, so you can just pound them down in there. And my little toothed pin for adjustment, height adjustment pin, on the bottom is going to go down this bottom left section side of the door, so it will pivot on that side. So as soon as I install these guys right here, yep, pre-drilled holes, I can feel it. I may have to tap them down with a hammer. Be careful when tapping these down with a hammer, because remember, they are spring-loaded. If you mess up that spring, it's not going to destroy your door. Sometimes they're hard to get out of the door, but you have to go buy another bifold hardware pack, and you don't want to do that. I don't want to have to do that. I like to buy one set it right the first time, and be done. Yep, she's in. I still have to set my bottom, so I'm going to carefully, well, let me drop my hammer first, so I don't uncarefully drop this door. I'm going to lay my door down and tap that bottom pin in real quick. It's right there. And essentially right now, guys, my door is ready to set up in there for adjustment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand her back up. Once you stand your door back up, note that there's a solid metal pin sticking out of the bottom of this door. You don't want that to go putting gouges in your hardwood floor. You don't want that to go putting scratches across your tile. So be extremely careful when you lift it up. It's a bifold door, not real heavy, pretty light. But you have to set a bifold door from the top down. What you're going to have to do is get these top 2 spring-loaded pins set and lift up and in and drop the bottom one in there. Okay? That's just how it works. That's the adjustment. That way the weight holding the door down is what's keeping it in the proper track on the bottom. So what I've got to do now, it's been a while since I've done this, stick my top pin into that hole. Great. Stick my spring-loaded guide wheel pin into this hole. Now I may have to adjust right away. I may not get the door in there. Let's bring her all the way down first. I'm adjusting that bottom. I'm screwing it in. Down, 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 down. Yep, she's screwed in. Locked into place there. Locked into place right there. Oopsie. Sounds to me like I missed. This is always a tricky one down here on the bottom. You guys can look. I have to pop this guy up and in. It's my track right there. Oh, and look, as I try to open the door, I already put it over too far. It wants to hit. So I'll come over here. Oh, that's probably not bad for the bottom, but as we look up towards the top, whoa, big gap at the top, which means my little adjustable slide right here, I have to come over probably a solid, almost a ½ inch. I'm going to bring my bottom over one step right away too. Yeah, right about there. Then I got to move the top over so that my door functions here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's get my little screwdriver. I'm actually going to have to go do this from the inside of the door. And I'm going to slide it over just a bit. haven't slid it over too much. Ooh, that's not bad. That is not bad. It opens, it closes. Now as you can see, you can still see the ugly track up there. But by the time I throw my piece of shoe molding in there, and what looks to me to be to raise this door up a little bit, because I have a pretty sizable gap at the top right here, I have a really beautiful little reveal on my bifold door right there. Make sure, you probably want a quarter inch, and a quarter inch over here. It looks to me, on this side, I could move the entire door nice and square like this, over this way, just a tad, maybe 1/8 of an inch. I think I'll do that on the bottom right off the bat. Now it's real easy as you're doing this once the door is up and set. So make sure you don't lose the door, but pop it up, pop it out. And look on my bottom. The reveals look pretty even all the way around. But in a nutshell, guys, that is how you install a bifold door. When you get done installing it, you'll probably wind up with a bunch of extra screws and extra things in your package here from your hardware package. When you're doing multiple bifolds, like if this were a big 4-foot wide bifold door, and I'd have a bifold door and a bifold door here, you use the little glide bracket, which makes your doors come together evenly at in the middle where they meet. You can also install these little springs in the track. You got 2 different sizes right here. One for the middle between 2 doors. It sort of locks them into place once they're shut. And then you have another one that you can use on the end over here. Can you see? No, you can't really see. But you can snap it up into the track, and the spring catches your little wheel right there and locks it into place once it's shut. Just a little bit of added stability to your door. But anyway, guys, that's a bifold. I'm going to just raise this guy up a little bit, and by raising it up, all I do is pop the bottom out, unscrew the little threaded insert, maybe another 1/4 inch, and my door is set to where it needs to be. Anyway, I got one more bifold to set up at the front entryway. That one went pretty smoothly, and you guys know how to set it now. Remember, check those reveals all the way around, make them look good. Talk to you soon. Bye.